quick follow-up video. This is a follow-up video to the Lindblom video essentially I released earlier today. And it's such a weird day because we start off with such great news, right? Where you hear that a guy who I would say a lot of people were concerned would never play hockey again. And I think that's a fair concern, right? Ewing sarcoma is a very serious cancer, sometimes fatal. There were all reasons to be concerned and to count him out. And I didn't, Jamie didn't, Joe didn't, our other writers did not. But I understand why people would. I think that is a rational thought process. I would say they're jumping to conclusions always, especially when you assume the worst. But, ultimately it's understandable. But now we have a more interesting scenario where everybody seems to think that Oskar Lindblom is the exact opposite of Nolan Patrick. And right now we're in a scenario where people are, from what I've seen, convinced that Nolan Patrick is done in Philadelphia, potentially done for his career. And again, I'm going to point out the fact that Oskar Lindblom's injury situation was considerably more dangerous, more severe, and potentially more long-term threatening than what Lindblom went through. And people counted out Lindblom considerably. After a year where we thought we might have Nolan Patrick come back at certain times, nothing, right? So he didn't play. So what are people doing, right? They don't see Patrick with the team. They immediately jump to conclusions and they go, he's done. Now, I don't know where this is coming from, but I guarantee from the same place the last reaction came from, mystery, unknowing, or whatever. I would get that out of your head. I don't know where it's coming from. I think this is a jump to conclusion type of stuff. At the very worst, Nolan Patrick would get traded, potentially. Maybe. Unlikely because of his current situation, and unlikely in general because you don't usually trade second overall picks after one injured year. And this is what I really want to get to, is the disconnect that people are really having from the process. And I've seen some people who know the process say this, and I don't know if it's for clicks. I don't know what it's for. Could truly believe it for all I know. But I don't know where it's coming from. I think it's a humongous leap. I think what we're looking at with Patrick essentially is in a similar position to Lindblom, right? You have a player who's dealing with a serious injury, a severe migraine disorder case from what we understand, right? We've had positive encouragement statements from the team. We've had players come out and said like Sean Couturier, who said they expect Nolan to have a long, healthy career. Again, this is not the first time. We watched somebody like Sidney Crosby sit out an entire season. I watched Simone Gagne almost lose his career and then magically come back and put up points again. This isn't completely out of the norm, and quite frankly, the jumping to apocalypse is, I think people are doing it just to fool you. I think they want you to buy in. I think they want you to listen. Chaos sells. I'm not going to sell you chaos. If I'm Chuck Fletcher, I have no reason to rush Nolan Patrick at all. I have no reason to rush Oskar Lindblom too. All they're doing is not giving you a date. Just because you don't have information doesn't mean you can speculate the worst things possible. That's usually not the case. Realistically, Nolan's situation is a complicated one. You have a second overall pick. He has value. He could easily get paid more money, just like Oskar Lindblom probably could have taken more money, even under the risk. I mean, he could have waited the year out, recovered, even potentially walked as a free agent, and then picked up a contract, maybe a one-year deal, make him earn it, and then get it back. But just like Chuck Fletcher was saying, he's probably never going to get paid less than what he made ever in his career. I mean, most likely the guy's going to be a star player to some degree, if not offensively, defensively. He's going to be part of successful teams probably wherever he goes. Nolan Patrick has an opportunity to be a very special player. We're watching Sean Couturier right now vying for a Selke, and most people believe that you couldn't, and I quote, trade him for a bag of pucks. That was said. Same thing about Braden Shen, and I guarantee comes from the same place as Nolan Patrick has done. And not very interested in that. What I see is a player who's probably being instructed to wait longer. You have a roster position that can't be held for him, essentially, if he gets COVID, or if somebody else gets COVID and they're dropping in numbers, and maybe Nolan has a setback of some sort. Maybe he's not even 100%. I don't know. But if any of those situations are there, all of a sudden you lose a roster spot when you really can't afford to lose a roster spot. I mean, we're in a playoff situation here. And he hasn't played hockey for a considerable amount of time, longer than Lindblom, who also will not be playing, at least not till next year, which could start in December. And again, this is what I'm getting to. Nolan Patrick is in a different situation. Do not conflate the two together. What I think we're looking at with Nolan really is most likely between a 1 and a 3-year deal. He might consider a 2-year deal, but really I think Nolan Patrick will want to play and try to earn some more money. I mean, the Flyers have the leverage as far as, his performance has been, pretty good for a young kid, but it hasn't been a second overall pick caliber guy, and he knows that he can make more. I mean, we've seen players make these type of deals before, and then we've seen players who kind of know, like Travis Konechny could have potentially made more money as well. Ivan Provorov, we saw some astronomical numbers going around. Were they true? No, they were not. Just because they're a rumor doesn't make them true. You really have to look into reality. Right now, there are reasons for Nolan not to sign. There are reasons for the Flyers not to sign him. There isn't necessarily a rush to do any of this stuff, and there's plenty of opportunity to work out a deal with Nolan Patrick. I don't know why people believe he's not the guy. I feel like there are people who are projecting their own feelings about Nolan onto the organization, but that is a humongous mistake to act in the way that people are referring. I would highly recommend that any general manager who behaves that way take a long look in the mirror and probably see your way out. We saw what Bobby Clark did, who was a great GM, and even I would guarantee you that he regrets trading Eric Lindros. I'm going to say that right now. You guys couldn't have put that shit aside to win a championship? This is business, is about winning. Okay, this kid is extremely talented. He's yours. You don't get rid of second overall picks unless maybe you're trading for a top 5 pick, a number 2 pick in the draft. These are the type of things, maybe Jack Eichel, like everybody dreams about. These are the type of situations Nolan Patrick would be thrown into. Not, Lindblom signed for 3 years of $3 million, so Nolan's done. I don't know where it's coming from. I don't buy it. I would say look out in the near future for progress with Nolan Patrick, probably a signing of some sort. If not, we're at least going to hear about contract talks. Right now, the media is locked out. They're not seeing people. They're not picking up the phone for people as much. And, with the COVID stuff, they're not going to want to be that revealing. We see it today. Any single thing can rock the boat at this point, and I really don't think they're that interested with things being so tentative. So look out for it. Stay positive. Know that Nolan Patrick is not being thrown away. That is asinine opinion in my thought process. And just be excited. Be excited about life. Be excited about Lindblom coming back earlier than you all anticipated. None of you thought that was going to happen. Nobody thought. I didn't think that there was going to be a 3-year deal announced today. Stop pretending like you know what's going to happen. Just know that they're valuable assets. Even if you want to remove the human element, they're valuable assets. You don't treat them like throwaways. You don't treat them like throwaways. I wouldn't treat them like throwaways. And I don't think our fans, and I don't think the Flyer fans, and I don't think anybody who reads our stuff or watches our stuff really wants to treat these guys like garbage. And just because he has a head injury and he's going through some troubles doesn't mean it's the end. Look out for him to sign. I believe he's going to sign. I don't know why he wouldn't. I think it'd be insane not to sign him. I mean, if you're not going to sign him, you better package him off for something really damn good, because you're going to look stupid. And I don't think this general manager is very interested in looking stupid, and he's not very interested in treating his players like shit. And both of those have been pretty damn consistent. So I would look out for a signing, and look out for Nolan Patrick.